Paldea wasn't the only place that was ecologically destroyed thanks to the poor planning and waste management infrastructure set upon us by lunatic management. Hey, I'm Lax, and this is part 2 of the most problematic video I have had. Right, that I have had to date so far. We are so unfortunately back, baby, and like the previous video, this video starts with planning. Tons of planning and extremely poor execution. And just like the last video, this plan can be broken down real succinctly into 3 steps. Step 1, interns. Already got them. My good buddies and trusted peons Wheezing and Muck, now evolved from the Coughing and Grimer of yesteryear. Step 2, beating all of the things. Again, both DLCs and the final subplot of the post-game. Easy peasy. And finally, step 3. Ugh, fuck, I gotta write all this shit down again, don't I? You're darn tootin', we're recording sweet, tasty data.
Honey, I picked your favorite mayonnaise brownies.
Mom, I told you to knock when I'm doing data entry. Gaw!
I did knock.
I didn't think that far ahead into this bit.
Anyways, let's get this bad boy started with the first official DLC for Generation 9's Scarlet and Violet, the Teal Mask. Technically speaking, the Teal Mask DLC is available anytime after you complete the tutorial section of the main game, essentially after you get the 3 main big quests for Scarlet and Violet. I always tackle this DLC and the other one after the main game because I prefer my Poochyena in their purest form, level 60. Although the Pokemon change depending on whether or not you completed the main game, the items don't. Probably. I mean, the internet told me so, and if I know anything about the internet, it's that it doesn't lie. Probably. Just like where the bus drops us off the first time, we're starting out in Kitakami at the bus stop turnaround on Kitakami Road. We'll knock out the south of the mountain region first since, hey, we're already here anyways. This location includes the aforementioned Kitakami Road, Apple Hills, Loyalty Plaza, and the small main town of, Masui. We'll hold off on crossing the river right now and use it as our boundary. Fun fact that's not so fun, the microbiome of the Apple Hills has applins that spawn very commonly. I guess they needed a good source of them for Diplin, who newly released with this DLC. I spent dozens if not hundreds of hours egg hatching for not 1 but 2 shiny applins for both Flapple and Appleton for a catch-em-all shiny video that may or may not ever come out. And I really could have just waited and done it in like an hour in this field. My other option for shiny hunting before this DLC released was running into trees in the Tag Tree Thicket for days, which on the Switch 1 version of the game had a solid 12 FPS on a good day. Moving to the east side of the mountain, we bump into the Wistful Fields, which has a little lake with wisteria trees. And in that lake, there's Lotad, and in every Lotad is my partner in crime's favorite Pokemon, just bursting to get out. Ludicolo. This was just long-winded reasoning to show Mirror B from Pokemon Coliseum. I just feel like not enough people see him on a day-to-day basis, and you feel that way too. Anywho, we're moving north to the Paradise Barrens and the Kitakami Wilds next, and wow, wasn't that exciting. Sliding slightly over the river here and to the east? Yeah, east. We get to the Timeless Woods, featuring a sleeping Snorlax blocking a pathway, just like the timelessness of Generation 1. Thank you, kind nostalgia gods, I needed that bump. Also, whatever the fuck this is, going south a bit after that makes our way to the Fellhorn Gorge, Gorge, like the valley variety, and finally rounding out the southern portion of Kitakami is the Mossville Confluence, which is a word that means the junction of 2 rivers. The more you know, and yep, that does check out. Coming full circle to the river on the opposite side of the town of Masui, we make our way through Revelers Road and into the Kitakami Hall Festival area, ending part 1 of DLC 1. All in all, the Not the Mountain area grants us 358 items and 98 TMs. Part 2 is the whole ass mountain, and boy do I love mountains. This mountain is significantly less snow-capped, however, and it's shaped like a skull with horns, which is pretty cool. The mountain kind of snakes around into a spiral ending in the hot springs area at the top, with a small side cave that drops down through the mountain and deposits you back out of the Ogre Skull's mouth. There's another messy side cave that is filled with items as well, but that will about cover DLC 1. The mountain gives us another 108 items and 47 TMs, totaling 466 items and 145 TMs for the Teal Mask. Not a bad start, putting us more or less on par with the individual provinces of the Paldea region. We're going to move right along to the much more interesting DLC, in my humble opinion, and yours, the Indigo Disk, a terrarium made of 4 mini-biomes with a school attached, basically all of which is underwater. There are, sort of, 0 items in the school sections: the arrival dock, the classroom, store, cafeteria, but technically the machine in the club room can make infinite items at the cost of Pokemon parts. You know, like legs and eyeballs. We're not really going to be able to add that to the tally, so we'll skip that and stick with 0 from the school. The terrarium itself starts us off in our first area, the Savannah biome. Very badlands and deserty. It even has a Lion King reference. Or maybe it doesn't, and I'm going to soon face legal action. The Savannah nets us 105 items and 22 TMs. Moving to the northeast, we jump the fence to the coastal biome, housing every single person's favorite Pokemon, Exeggutor with the long body. But don't you worry, we're repping the Short King Model 2. He's kicking it back with Simba in the Savannah. I may have to do the rest of this video while on the run. There's also a relatively large cave in this biome that houses a few items as well. Sprinting away from the coastal biome gives us another 131 items and 28 TMs. Next up to the northwest is the polar biome, a biome filled halfway with frigid, I assume, ocean and a snow-capped mountain. Thankfully, it's Mountain Glaciato in microcosm, significantly smaller and much more manageable. It also has 2 entrances to the Zip-Zap-Zippity-Bap Cavern, or whatever. The polar biome clocks in at another 122 items and 12 TMs. The cavern beneath can be lumped in here as well at 16 items and 4 more TMs. Last but certainly not least, the canyon biome in the southwest, full of ups, downs, ins, and outs, and also a shiny Geodude and Tyrogue. Oh yeah, and I also got a shiny Carbink back in Kitakami that I failed to mention, but this is what he looks like. The canyon biome comes in at 104 items and an additional 22 TMs, rounding out the Indigo Disk and bringing our grand total to 468 items and 98 TMs. Well, that's it for the DLCs and the video. Thank you so much for... Wait, I think I'm missing something. Ah, right. That big bit of grayed out portion of Paldea. Area 0. The post-game of Generation 9. Area 0 is a crater filled with sunlit fog, even if it's nighttime or it's thunderstorming up top. The largest portion of Area 0 is gone through during the events of the final quest in the main game, where you are unable to ride your bike, but many of these items require Koraidon or Miraidon to actually access. Anytime after that quest is completed, you can navigate it like the rest of the game by never walking again. Yeah, screw those dirt thumpers. Touching grass is for losers with a job or friends or whatever. Area 0 is a spiral down to the center of the earth, I guess, and is split into 2-ish parts, the uppies and the undergroundies. Naturally, we'll start in the upper section, filled with grass, goodies, and invisible flabébés around every corner that you sure do want to run into. There's also a small hidden cavern to mention with a few items inside as well. All in all, the upper portion of Area 0 netted us 69 nice items and 21 TMs. Now downward to the underground part of Area 0, which takes place behind a massive maw of a cave opening. This is how caves should have been done throughout Paldea. I know it's the last area in the game, and they really felt the need to wow, but man, it would have been awesome if the cave systems under Alfornata had this much design in them. That's the town on the top of the plateau in the bottom left corner of Paldea for those of you that actually do touch grass. Item-wise, the majority of the upper-lower area is Terra Shards, with a few other items and TMs throughout. However, after beating the post-game and post-DLC, A lot of post stuff today. A new area of Area 0 opens up. Lots of new items crammed into a fairly small cavern. And there is one optional room down here that requires beating of a stellar-typed Garchomp who is also hidden to open. A huge stack of Terra Shards for every single type and a few TMs here as well. The Underdown clocks in at 59 additional items and 17 more TMs, totaling 128 items and 38 TMs for Area 0, and with that, that's it. Almost. I kind of forgot 3 things at the very tip top of the terrarium, and they are super valuable, so we're gonna go nab those real quick as well. Bringing our grand official total for the Teal Mask, the Indigo Disk, and finally, Area 0 to, drumroll please, 1,065 items and 281 TMs. Minus 2 quick balls and a dusk ball because I did catch those shinies. Way less than the mainland of Paldea, but also a lot of higher valued items. I wonder if that will make much difference. Only one way to find out. Ah, wow! After selling everything in these new lands and down below, we've made ourselves an additional 4,328,670 Pokédollars. That is actually significantly more than what we were at last time. That brings our grand total to 8,350,450 Pokédollars. But is that enough for my mega-yacht? Oh boy, more internet facts and math incoming. So the Pokédollar is actually based on the yen. At least that's what Google told me. And the current conversion rate at the time that this video would air puts 1 yen equal to 0.0065 USD, or a little over half of 1 penny. Meaning that our 8,350,450 Pokédollars is roughly the equivalent of $53,957.77 USD. That's a pretty hefty sum, but nowhere near my goal of a mega-yacht. So just how far off are we? Well, according to Google's AI, which is super accurate in all things, all hail AI, a mega-yacht classification sits at 165 plus foot, and new ones, new in quotation marks, can start as high as $50 million USD. To put that into perspective, I would need to do what I just did, not 10 times, no, not 100 times, but about 1,000 times. This isn't even real money. We're in the land of make-believe, and it's an insurmountable task. I think I'll just put a down payment on a mid-sized RV and road trip with the boys. That's gonna be it for me, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this, and eat the rich.